Hello everyone, torching them back, second audio commentary. I appreciate you listening, and I'm here bringing you a Demolition gameplay on Fallen, and I believe I'm using an ACR. This was taken many months ago, and now that I got my HD PVR, it's been in my theater this whole time, I decided to use it. And I decided to use it because the gameplay is pretty epic. I think I go 51-9 is the final score, and although that may not be the beastliest score that you've ever had, it's still pretty good. That's a little over a 5 KD, just under a 6 KD. I get a couple Reapers in there, see various Predator missiles, and I think I'm using UAV as the first, no, excuse me, Pred, Helicopter, and Reaper. So you see a couple of those kill streaks cycled through. It's a little sped up. I brought it down from like 12 minutes to about 9 minutes, so yeah. And just like I promised in my last commentary, I decided to talk to you about the Avengers. And the reason I'm talking to you about the Avengers is because I now have a medium to talk to you about it. And because that movie touched me in various ways. And, you know, this gameplay commentary is long enough that I could express myself and talk about it as a nerd geek, as I geek out just thinking about that movie. If I had, right now, to watch that movie again, I would watch it 7 times straight just today. You may ask why. You may have seen it and thought, okay, it was good. It was very excellent. I may have even seen it twice, but why are you so geeked out about it? And that's what this commentary is aimed to do. It's to explain why it was so good. And this is the reason. I am 20 years old. I think I turn 21 soon. And I grew up when I was, let's see, 10 or 11, the first Spider-Man came out with Tobey Maguire. And that changed, that rocked my world, because Marvel, you know, I had some experiences with Marvel before, like their video games were out, the one with Spider-Man and your Venom, and or not, you don't play as Venom, but you know, that PC video game, Spider-Man was out, and Spider-Man was all over the media. He's a cool character. You knew about the Hulk, you knew about different things. I think you went to Islands of Adventure. I went to Islands of Adventure as a little kid and played those rides and rode that roller coaster, and you know, you had a healthy dose of Marvel, just like you had a healthy dose of DC. But that was the first movie to actually come out, and it thrusted me into the genre real hard, because I started to then, well, I wanted to know more about Spider-Man. And I went out and bought some comic books, and he became a really favorite character of mine. And as the movies came out, they were just awesome. I loved them. And I thought to myself, because I was starting out reading them, and I started to get familiar with a character named Daredevil. And this is before the movie came out. And so I was really into Daredevil. And when they announced the movies and when I saw the movies, it even further it made Daredevil my favorite character, and second was Spider-Man. And I just really loved the character. And if you ever read a Daredevil comic, I suggest to start off with the ones by Brian Michael Bendis. I think it's like volume 2, number 30, like they're in the 30s. They are excellent, and they really thrusted me into that genre. And I thought to myself, why can't Marvel put Spider-Man and Daredevil in a movie? Ben Affleck, Tobey Maguire, and, you know, just have them, you know, in New York working together. That's what I thought to myself. And actually, Daredevil and Spider-Man are one of the most collaborated superhero teams in the comic books. They're always getting together. You see them in every other comic book together. And man, wouldn't that be cool? And then as I started to notice, I didn't know this at the time, but they're licensed to two different companies. It'd be very rare for that to happen. And on top of that, it seems probably a little silly, even now, to most people. Daredevil, why would you make that? And the movie sucked, apparently, and I liked it, but I was young, you know, I didn't really understand the finer points of acting and plot, and I can't watch that movie again. I try to watch that movie, and I'm like, what am I watching? This is cheesy. So, that is the background for why I love the Avengers in film. Because they did the impossible in my eyes. In 01, 02, 03, the impossible for me was cross-referencing characters into one movie. And I'm not just talking about, oh, we made the Avengers and we have 4 new cast members and it looks cool. It is setting up franchises with main characters in that universe, and then for one movie, for one special 2.5 hour, you know, movie, those universes collide. And when I saw the Hulk and at the end Tony Stark was in there, I literally had a nerdgasm. I mean, that to me was the signal that this is going to happen. And so we have the Avengers, and what people hadn't thought about before is that when you have these movies by themselves and you make the movie like the Avengers, you don't need to stress the plot so much. And Joss Whedon was great because he made the plot good in that movie, but there wasn't a necessity for a big plot. It was a simple plot. Not that it was bad. Simple doesn't mean bad. But what was the plot? Loki wants to take over the world. There's a couple things here and there with the helicarrier and all that, but they need to stop him. He has an army coming. He made a deal. He wants to take over the world. They need to stop him. That's it. Nothing more than that. And it worked. It worked really well. The CGI was great. The animation, not the animation, whatever they use, motion capture, that was great. And it was awesome. And if you want to hear more about me talk about the Avengers, I have a review on my other channel, which I'll probably link in the description, and I have a podcast coming out in which me and my friend talk about the Avengers, Dark Knight, and the future of the Avengers. And I wanted to hint on that before the commentary ends. I think I have about another 2 minutes. Wouldn't it be great if Spider-Man, what I grew up on, was in the Avengers? And when the Avengers was first coming out, I would see in the comments, where's Spider-Man? And I thought to myself, Spider-Man's not in the Avengers. See, he wasn't for 40, 50 years of history. But now, the same guy I told you about, Brian Michael Bendis, wrote them in the new Avengers. And Spider-Man and Wolverine are in the new Avengers. And I thought to myself, man, wouldn't that be cool if somehow Andrew Garfield in the rebooted Spider-Man would be in the Avengers? I mean, it makes sense from every angle. One, Spider-Man is Marvel's most popular flagship character, and that would boost the ratings for Avengers even more. For Sony, it would work because right now their character is struggling, and you know, his new movie came out very good, very strong box office numbers, but it was less than the other 3 Spider-Man movies grossed before it. So they need to revive interest in the character. They need to draw interest into the Spider-Man franchise, and it's a win-win situation. And so I hope Sony and Marvel get together and realize that this is probably the best thing you can do, is cross these characters and have Spider-Man as a major character in the Avengers and start writing his universe so that it kind of is adopted into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Marvel will probably never get Spider-Man back for many years until, let's say, the comic book movie genre dies. So their best bet is to incorporate them and adopt them into the universe. This has been a Demolition game with Torch in them, 15, 1, and 9. As you can see, I went clutch at the end there and used the Reaper to defend the bomb. Demolition's a good game type, and you should try it. Subscribe to me if you're still listening. I appreciate it. I love you, and I'll see you online or later. Bye-bye.